The Pig and the Pigeon, An Unlikely Adventure, Chapter 1. A friendship takes flight once upon a time. On a sunlit farm surrounded by rolling hills and blooming flowers, there lived a cheerful pig named Percy. Percy loved to roll in the mud and munch on sweet apples from the orchard. But despite his happy life, he sometimes felt lonely. One day, as Percy enjoyed his mud bath, a shadow passed over him. He looked up and saw a pigeon gliding through the sky, her wings catching the sunlight. "Hello up there," Percy called, waving his muddy trotter. The pigeon, named Penny, flapped her wings and landed gracefully on the fence. "Hi, what are you doing down there?" she asked, tilting her head. "I'm having fun in my favorite mud puddle. Would you like to join me?" Percy asked with a playful grin. Penny chuckled. "Oh no, I'd be a mess. But I can tell you stories about my adventures in the sky." Percy's eyes lit up. "I'd love to hear your stories." And so, every day, Penny visited Percy. She perched on the fence and shared tales of her travels, sparkling lakes, distant cities, and golden sunsets. Percy listened, his heart soaring with every story. In return, Percy shared his apples with Penny and taught her how to find the sweetest berries hidden in the orchard. Their laughter filled the air, proof that friendship can blossom between even the most unlikely of pairs. Chapter 2. The Storm and the Secret. One bright afternoon, dark clouds suddenly rolled in. The wind howled, shaking the trees, and the sky turned gray. "Penny, you should find shelter," Percy called, looking worried. "I'll fly above the storm," Penny replied confidently. But as the wind grew stronger, Percy noticed Penny struggling. The gusts pushed her in every direction. "Come down. You can stay with me in the barn," Percy shouted. Penny hesitated but finally glided down and squeezed through the barn door just as the rain began to pour. Inside, they huddled together as the storm roared outside. "I'm scared," Penny whispered, trembling. Percy wrapped his warm body around her. "Don't worry, we're safe together," he reassured her. As the rain pounded the roof and the thunder rumbled, they told each other stories to pass the time. Penny shared a tale about a hidden garden she'd once seen from the sky, a place filled with glowing flowers that only bloomed at night. Percy listened with wonder, his imagination painting the scene vividly. Chapter 3. The Rainbow Quest. The next morning, the storm had passed, and a dazzling rainbow stretched across the sky. "Look at that," Percy gasped. "It's beautiful," Penny said, her wings fluttering with excitement. Then Percy had an idea. "Penny, what if we try to find that glowing garden you told me about?" Penny's eyes sparkled. "Let's do it. I'll guide us from above." Percy packed a satchel with apples and water, and together they set off on their adventure. Penny soared overhead, and Percy trotted below, following her calls. They crossed a bubbling brook, climbed a grassy hill, and finally reached a clearing where the sunlight danced on the grass. Chapter 4. The Glowing Garden. As night fell, the meadow came alive with shimmering flowers glowing in hues of blue, pink, and gold. The petals sparkled like stars, lighting up the ground beneath their feet. "We found it," Percy exclaimed, his heart bursting with joy. Penny twirled in the air. "It's even more magical than I remembered." The two friends laughed and danced among the glowing blooms. They lay on the grass, watching fireflies swirl around them, feeling grateful for the adventure and for each other. Chapter 5. A Friendship That Shines. When they returned to the farm, Percy and Penny knew that their adventure would be remembered forever. They planted seeds from the glowing flowers in the garden by the barn, creating a radiant place for all their friends to enjoy. "Do you know what I learned, Percy?" Penny said one evening as they watched the flowers bloom. "What?" Percy asked, munching on an apple. "That home isn't just a place, it's where your friends are," Penny replied, resting her wings. Percy smiled. "And with friends, every day can be an adventure." And so, Percy the pig and Penny the pigeon continued to explore their world, proving that the best journeys are the ones shared with those you love. Through sunshine and storms, their friendship remained unbreakable, a glowing reminder that life's greatest treasures are the memories we create together. Moral of the story: True friendship is about being there for each other through every adventure, big or small. It teaches us that no matter how different we are, our hearts can find joy in the simplest things, like a glowing flower or a kind word on a stormy day.
In a sunny little meadow on a quiet farm lived a happy pig with a muddy charm. Percy rolled in puddles soft and sweet, dreaming of a friend he'd someday meet. Then a pigeon named Penny flew by in the sky with wings so wide she soared up high. She perched on the fence with a curious stare, and Percy called out, "Hello up there." Oh, Percy and Penny, what a pair! A pig in the mud and a bird in the air. They laughed and played through the field so wide, on their great adventures side by side. Oh, through storms and rainbows near and far, friendship shines brighter than any star. Penny told stories of land she'd seen, of glowing gardens and skies so green. Percy would listen with wondering cheer, and share his apples fresh and dear. Then one stormy day, with thunder and rain, Percy saw Penny struggling in pain. "Come to the barn," he shouted with care, "you'll be safe and dry when you're in there." Together they huddled as the storm passed by, telling tales of adventures beneath the sky. When morning broke, the rainbow shone, and Percy and Penny knew they'd never be alone. Oh, Percy and Penny, what a pair! A pig in the mud and a bird in the air. They laughed and played through the field so wide, on the great adventures side by side. Oh, through storms and rainbows near and far, friendship shines brighter than any star. Anytime we ever be alone. Oh, Percy and Penny, what a pair! A pig in the mud and a bird